Hello everyone, welcome to a new reading. Today we are going to continue with the Stray Kids individual reading, and in this video we're going to focus on Changbin. We're going to do an individual reading, so there's 4 sections: his current energy, his career, his love life, and any healing messages that come through. And with that said, let's just start with his current energy and figure out what is going on with him right now. So with the Judgment card, I feel that it's kind of funny because the first thing that I saw was like the butt for some reason, and I've never really focused on that for this card before, so I thought it was hilarious that came up. So this kind of tells me that for him right now, he's being tested by life, by the universe. He's going through something that could be a bit challenging. It could be eye-opening for him as well. Like, he's finding a sense of purpose, a sense of belonging, a sense of emotional satisfaction. Like, he's going towards a change or a transformation, because Judgment is ruled by Pluto, and Pluto is all about drastic transformation. So I wouldn't be surprised if lately he has seemed like a completely different person, or he's going through experiences that put his beliefs or his mentality like completely upside down, and he's doing like a 180 of sorts. But that's because he's slowly coming into alignment with something that fits him, something that satisfies him, something that makes him feel like he's finally doing something meaningful in life. So this Judgment card is talking about those transformations. However, the fact that I was like, I focused on the butt of one of the figures, I thought it was hilarious. So I see that he could be taking all of these changes, despite being very challenging, difficult, and maybe a bit frustrating. He's taking them with a bit of humor, and he is facing all of this with a bit of happiness as well. Like, he's trying not to make a big deal out of it, in the sense of maybe putting himself in the corner and being like, this is challenging and hard, but he's going more along those lines of like just trying to lighten the mood up and trying to be in a more comfortable situation. So he may have a very good sense of humor or something along those lines, or that's usually how he deals with challenges. Now the other card that we have right here is the Page of Cups. So it's reversed, meaning that he may feel like he's lacking motivation, inspiration, and also creativity. Like, I have a feeling that all of these difficulties and these challenges have made it kind of difficult for him to either connect with his emotions or connect with his intuition, and because of that, his creativity feels a bit stunted. Like, I feel lately he may have had a lot of writer's block of sorts, or like he wants to create something or work on something, and it just doesn't flow as smoothly or as nicely as before, and that's because he's a bit disconnected, because how he's slowly reshifting himself. So creativity and inspiration could be out the window right now, and that's just because he's going through transformations that just make it kind of difficult to focus, in the sense of just allowing the ideas to just flow through him. However, we have a Knight of Swords, meaning that despite not feeling super creative or super inspired, so his imagination may be a little bit challenged right now, this Knight of Swords kind of shows that he's still going forward. He's communicating well with everyone. He still has the right words to say what he's thinking. His ideas are well aligned with his actions. He's just going full force into the unknown and just learning as he's going. He is not afraid of just moving forward. So despite maybe his ideas not flowing as nicely as he wishes, he still is just moving forward and powering through all of these challenges and all of these changes. So this kind of just shows that he's just a type of person that will not allow any hurdle in his life to get in the way of whatever it is that he's going for. Now this 5 of Pentacles kind of shows that he may feel a little bit left out, and I feel that this sense of feeling left out is kind of like being left out in the cold by the universe. So it's kind of like, why are things not going my way? Why are things so challenging? Why are things so difficult? Why are they always problems around? So this 5 of Pentacles kind of shows that he feels like he's lacking something. And I think this is specifically with his career, because Pentacles talks about money, career, and health. So he may feel like he's lacking something in his career. And one of those things could be that inspiration that is not really flowing through as easily as before, and because of that he may feel like he was left out in the cold. So if there was something that inspired him, or he relies on his creativity for his work, then he feels like some sort of disconnect that just makes it harder to do what he likes to do, or to do what he's accustomed to doing in his career. So maybe he finds it a bit more difficult to write lyrics or to compose music or something along those lines. Now, the last card that we have right here for his current energy is the Nine of Wands reverse. So the Nine of Wands, usually when it's upright, talks about not giving up. So with it reversed, based on the cards that we got earlier, I don't think that it reversed means like he's going to give up on something. Not necessarily. I think it has not even crossed his mind to give up on something that's not working for him. But I also feel that he hasn't really thought about powering through as not resentment, but as baggage. The best way I can explain this is that he's just moving forward. It could be in terms of his career, like he's moving forward with his career, even if it's not easy for him right now. Again, because his ideas are not flowing. So I have a feeling that he doesn't see this as powering through, even though that's how I'm describing it. He's just living his day by day. He's just focusing on the present moment and just going with that. So with this Nine of Wands reverse, it kind of shows that it hasn't crossed his mind on giving up on something in his life, and also it hasn't really crossed his mind that he's overcoming challenges. He's just going through his present day, just doing what he has to do, right? Also, I do feel that there may be some baggage or some fears that he hasn't quite encountered yet, and because of that he may not even realize that what's stopping him. So he hasn't really identified the source as to why he may feel a bit stagnant, or why he may feel like he has to put a bit more effort in doing what he does. So this Nine of Wands reverse could just show that he hasn't identified the problem or the fear that may be holding him back, which is not necessarily a bad thing. That just kind of shows that he's just doing his normal thing, and that will be something he will encounter eventually. But let's jump into the next section of his individual reading, which is his career. So what's going on with Changbin's career? We have full moon in Virgo with You're Good Enough. So in his career, he may be a bit of a perfectionist, or he may be a bit hard on himself with that Virgo energy. He's okay with going with his routine. He's okay with just working and getting the work done, even if it's like a tedious task. Like, he's okay just going for it. However, he may feel like he's not doing enough, and this card is just encouraging him and reminding him that he is doing what he has to do, and that's okay for now. Let's see what else. And we have Scorpio. So with this Scorpio card, it kind of shows, I feel something about taking things day by day, which is something that he's already doing. So I guess the fact that I kind of repeated it again kind of shows that staying in the present and going day by day is something that he should concentrate in his career. Maybe in other areas of his life, but the main focus, I guess, will be in his career. But yeah, so with this Scorpio energy, it kind of shows that right now, one of the things that he may be working on in his career is to find a bit more depth and find a bit, I guess, something more meaningful in his career. He just doesn't want to do work for doing work. He wants to put something of value into it, put something, again, that will emotionally satisfy him. So not just doing the work to get the work done, or not just doing it because that's what he's been told to do, but it's more like he wants to start focusing on doing things that he wants to do, things that he's aiming for, things that carry a message or carry something deeply connected to him, or something that carries a message that is beyond the superficial, beyond just being a product, beyond just a project for, I guess, for his career. So there might be a chance that maybe he wants to do something in his career that will require him to be a bit more vulnerable, or be more open about who he is, or his beliefs, or his views on something. And it is something that he's a bit afraid of, because one, he could be afraid that his skills are not good enough to show or display this, I guess, this message that he wants to deliver. But also the other thing is that he's kind of guarded, so it might be something that's very personal to him that he may find a bit challenging to show to other people, or to put into material, concrete. I guess he's finding it kind of challenging and difficult to communicate an idea, or to ground an emotion or a belief. So making something untangible and materializing it. Like, he's finding that process a bit challenging and difficult because of how guarded he is. But let's get some more messages on what's going on with his career. Oh, perfect. So we have the 9 of Cups upright, and we have the Ace of Swords reverse, which makes total sense. So the the 9 of Cups kind of confirm what I was saying earlier, that he wants to bring a bit more depth and something that emotionally satisfies him, because the 9 of Cups usually talks about a dream come true. It talks about feeling satisfied, and since it's cups, it's usually about our emotions. So in this case, he wants to use all of his imagination and his creativity to create something that comes from his heart, that comes from him, something that is very personal to him, something that's very close to him, and something that he may not feel very comfortable with what other people may say about it. And because of that, it may also take a while for him to like find that confidence to take it out there, because you know how it is with art. Even if it's very personal to you when you create it, the moment you put it out there, everyone will interpret it the way that they want, and it kind of, and those interpretations become their message, their thing. So not everyone's going to just get it. In this 9 of Cups energy, I do feel that he wants to work on something that has always been his dream, has always been something he has wanted to do for a very long time. And because of that, is something that he truly treasures and something that's super meaningful to him. And of course, it is something that he wants to share with other people. But I think the biggest hurdle for him in his career right now is that he hasn't figured out the right words to communicate that. So the Ace of Swords upright usually talks about good communication between his mind and himself, being able to communicate even with spirit or with the universe, so some sort of higher power. So one of the things that came to mind when I said higher power was like having an epiphany or having that aha moment or having that source of inspiration just kind of flow through, which we talked earlier in his current energy. That seems like that's a bit blocked right now because of the transformations and changes that he's going through. But with this Ace of Swords reverse, it kind of shows that communication is not flowing as easily to him. So again, if he can't really put into words what it is that he wants to do, it is something that he really treasures, and it's something that brings him a lot of happiness, or he wishes it will bring him a lot of happiness. However, he is just finding it very difficult to find the right words to use, or maybe the right medium to communicate it, or maybe he's finding it kind of difficult to even find that message that he wants to deliver. Like, that could be something else, something as well. However, with this Ace of Swords reverse, I do feel that maybe the timing could be a bit off for him. So he may, like, the message that kind of just came through intuitively was that there might be an experience that he has to go through before he actually understands the message that he would like to deliver. So let's say that he wants to talk, this is the example, he wants to talk about self-improvement and overcoming obstacles, right? In the sense of becoming stronger as an individual, right? Let's say that that's the message that he wants to deliver. However, he has not experienced it to the extent that it carries the depth and meaning that he would like to convey to other people. Therefore, one of the things that he will have to go through is that experience itself. And this Judgment card and the Scorpio energy kind of shows that it could be some sort of maybe self-destruction. I think that's one way I can put it. I'm not saying that he's going to go through something super challenging in like a physical sense. I'm saying this in a emotional or spiritual sense. So the way that he views himself could be completely destroyed and transformed into this new version of himself, and it may require a lot of cleansing, a lot of healing, and a lot of patience as well. And all of those things could be the tools that will eventually help him write the message that carries the depth and value that he wants to convey to others. But he may have to experience it first, and I think he may be already kind of going through it, but he hasn't really reached the, I guess the best way I can describe it is the labels. He hasn't, let me explain. What I mean by labels is that maybe he hasn't recognized that what he's going through is a transformation, it's self-improvement, it is a new version of himself. Like, he doesn't have those words or that right terminology for him to identify what he's going through. So that could be why it's challenging for him at the moment. So I don't see necessarily anything bad with his career. If anything, I do feel that there's a lot of good things coming for him, especially with his 9 of Cups. Like, there's a dream that's going to come true for him, but it's just a bit challenging And I also feel like he doesn't have a bad attitude about this. Like, he feels very good about this, and he's even joking around and just continuously focusing on the now, moving forward. And he's not diverting from his responsibilities as an idol or as an artist. So it doesn't feel that bad. It just feels that it's kind of like an itch in the back of his mind that he can't reach and like scratch, or like there's something in the back of his mind that he quite can identify and bring up to the forefront. Like, he's finding it very challenging and difficult, but it's not at the expense of his well-being. It's just kind of like something that bothers him once in a while, as if he was forgetting something. Now let's go on to his love life and figure out what's going on with Changbin's love life. So we have New Moon in Cancer. With you and your loved ones are safe. So if anything, it kind of I felt like a prayer was answered for him. So if he was worried about his family, his close circle, his friends, anyone he cares about, if he was praying for their well-being, or hoping that they were okay, or hoping that they were safe in the sense of feeling comfort and happiness and blessings in the world, or something along those lines, I feel that he's a type of person that is constantly hoping for and wishing for good things to happen to other people, right? Like, if he sees someone that he deeply cares about, let's say his family. I actually don't know what relationship he has with his family or his friends or whoever, but whoever he sees in his immediate circles that he really cares about, he's constantly protecting, taking care of them, and he strikes me as someone that is very endearing. Was the first word that came to my mind. I don't see him that way, but energy wise, I guess so. Caring, protective, I guess in this sense, is like he just deeply cares for the people in his immediate circle. Whoever he sees as close family, close friends, or anyone that he like truly treasures, because we do have a water sign here, then he usually wishes for them to do well. He wishes for them to have like a healthy year or healthy lifetime. Wishes that every problem or burden just goes away and they're able to just continue moving forward. Like, seems like whenever he thinks about someone, the thoughts that immediately follow is just blessings and good things and wishing them the best. But hold up, let me get another card. And then we have Mercury. He could be someone that loves to stay in touch with the people that he cares about. So either just a quick message to make sure that everyone's okay, or it could be like a good morning message, or just sending like a meme, or sending like an image to kind of show like, hey, I thought about you, I care about you, how are you guys doing? So I do feel that he has that. I don't really know how he is as a person or as an idol, because, well, I'm not necessarily a Stray Kids fan. However, energy-wise, he seems to be very stable, very lighthearted as well. And even though he's encountered with challenges, I don't think he really sees this as challenges. Even if he encounters problems, he just sees this as an experience, and I don't think he necessarily feels overwhelmed, because he just kind of takes things one step at a time. So here with this Mercury energy, I do feel that when it comes to love, he is someone that loves to express it. He loves to talk about it. He loves to, again, stay in touch with everyone. Because I'm thinking of someone that has a moon in Gemini, which I'm not saying that he has one, because I have no clue. But people that I know that have a moon in Gemini tend to be very good at staying connected with other people, just to check up on them quickly, like, oh, how are you doing? How are things going for you? Or like, if there's a birthday, he will just message real quick, like, happy birthday, I hope everything's well. So he seems to be someone that deeply cares about people, and he tries to stay in touch with them. So either he could have a very big circle of people that he is just taking up on, or whoever is in his immediate inner circle, he's constantly keeping tabs on and making sure everyone's okay. I guess he will definitely be like a family man for sure. I do feel like whoever he cares about, he definitely has them in his thoughts and is constantly thinking about them and hoping that they're okay. Not necessarily because he's worried about them, but more because he's just putting a lot of positive energy towards those people. Like, it doesn't hurt to wish them well, So we have Justice reversed. We have Justice reverse and Death. So number 11 and 13. So we have two major arcana. So this kind of shows me that loving other people is something that he's focusing on big time. So with major arcana, we're talking about checkpoints, things that we have to go through in this lifetime to just experience and learn from. Big life lessons. So with this justice card reversed, I do feel that he may be a little bit out of harmony. I do feel that he may be giving a little bit too much to other people. And right now, life is not necessarily telling him to stop. They're telling him to slow down a little bit. And the reason being is because this death card right next to the justice card kind of shows that he is going through transformations and these deaths and rebirths and having his phoenix moments, that he will encounter some low energy once in a while. And what I mean low energy is that he's going to be internalizing all of his thoughts, his care, and his love like inwards and towards him, that he may not really have the energy to spend on other people, right? So life may be telling him right now to slow down a bit, to wish well for other people, but to also keep himself within those prayers of hoping for others to be well. This justice card reversed could talk about someone that's out of harmony. So the message that could be here is basically that he will encounter some periods in his life that will throw him off balance once in a while, and those are the times that he definitely needs to kind of slow down a little bit and focus on himself and not just continuously give to other people out of his routine. How should I put it? Instead of doing it when he feels okay to give to other people and not because he's kind of just already used to it. Now, one thing that I wanted to mention is that we have Libra energy right here, and we have Scorpio energy with this death card. So I do feel that those are two signs right next to each other. So maybe in the fall, so mid-September to mid-November, I think that could be when he encounters like this wall or this obstacle that will be super, super challenging for him. And he may need the help of other people, or he will need to take a break from people. I have a feeling. So he may need to just focus on himself a bit more. That's it. Now, to finish off his reading, let's look at the healing messages. So let's figure out any advice or healing messages for Changbin. So what is he going through? Let's see. So we have the eagle spirit with spirit has your back. We have the koala spirit with spirit has a plan. And one last card. We have the porcupine spirit with time for beginner mind. So I feel like he has to go back to the basics. I don't know what that will mean for him necessarily, but kind of go back to taking steps one at a time. Definitely taking his time with something, being patient. I don't think he's necessarily impatient, but he may be doing so much at once that it could be a bit overwhelming with his transformations. Now with this eagle spirit, it's a spirit has your back. So one of the bits of advice that he has right here is that his prayers are being heard. So if there's something that he's trying to manifest, or I guess a future that he's visualizing, the message has been read, has been received, and it's on the works right now. Because here we have number 23, that if you add that up, 2 and 3, you get 5, and 5 is the number of transformations. So again, transformations are just super big for him right now. And this eagle spirit, it kind of shows that the universe is going to help him by working on a perspective that he can't even see. So this higher perspective is one that is able to see the bigger picture, is able to see all of the different paths and all of the different pieces that are moving outside of his own control and outside of even his own mind. So what I mean by that is that it could be pieces and people and ideas and events that he cannot even fathom are possible or could even happen. So the spirit has your back, and spirit has a plan with this koala spirit. It kind of just shows that his spiritual team has an idea of what type of journey they want him to go through, and because of that, they have his back. They know how they want to help him and how to make his dreams come true, and what journey will be the best to make him reach that point, according to the situation that he's in, according to what he wants, as well as what he needs to experience, and kind of putting all of those pieces into account and making this path of destiny and fate that he will encounter. So all of these things kind of shows that the universe is kind of telling him to go back to his core beliefs, his ideas, and kind of go back to himself. I guess that's the best way I can describe with this time for a beginner mind, is kind of having a blank slate of sorts. So these changes and these transformations will change his point of view, will change his approach on doing things, and I almost want to sneeze. So this cleansing will definitely clear his mind. I do feel that could be one of his biggest problems right now, is having like some sort of disconnect with his emotions in his mind. I'm not saying that he may have like bad judgment as much as it's just not super clear. So he may be thinking a lot, or he may be finding it challenging to put into words his thoughts, and that disconnect, it makes it kind of hard to identify some of the things that he's going through, and also identify maybe even the dreams that he wants to go for, because it's kind of like there's something I desire, there's something I want, but I can't really figure out what that is, or how that would look like, or how I can make that happen. So he's just finding it kind of difficult to ground an idea or an emotion. So the time for a beginner mind kind of just shows that he needs to go back to that core value, go back to maybe doing some inner child healing as well, and that will definitely help him kind of see things in a different perspective, or kind of remember how to bring himself back into balance. But the fact that he feels like a little bit like out of it is because he's going through a transformation, and that change, like not really knowing where he's at or where he's going, is part of that change. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thought this reading was very interesting because I don't really have anything like good or bad to say about Changbin. It's kind of like he's just a guy that exists for me. So seeing this reading, I was actually very interested in the sense of like, oh, let's see what we get. I guess I don't have much of an influence of what I think about him, so the fact that these cards came out, it was just like, seems like his energy is doing well. Seems like he is a pretty cool guy, and I hope that things work out well for him, and that he finally finds the words and the inspiration to kind of continue with having that nice flow in his career again, which seems like that's the biggest issue right now. Anyway, I hope you guys like this reading. I hope you enjoyed it, learn from it, or at least find it entertaining. I'll see you guys on the next one, whenever that is, however that is. And feel free to comment down below what you thought about this reading, or how you think this may apply to him, since you guys know him better than I do. Anyway, love and healing from my part to you, and bye.